Which strategy option should you choose? And now we move on to the most important settings you can have in Performance Max. These are the budget size and bidding strategy. Performance Max only works with two strategies, either focusing on conversions or on maximizing value, with or without a return on ad spend limit. Which strategy option should you choose? To choose the right strategy option, we need to understand your specific budget capabilities. The larger your budgets are, the more likely you can bill for more sophisticated strategy and targeting options, like focusing on return on ad spend. The smaller your budgets are, the more likely it is that focusing on conversions will suit you better. But if you have a more expensive bill, say it's $80, $90, $100 or more, most likely your strategy options will be focused on profitability. How do you set this profitability, and why should you set it? Because you can actually launch without any limits, since with conversions we launch without restrictions. Why is it necessary to set a limit? Why is it absolutely essential to set a limit? Secondly, you have to understand that the AI is very smart. It's really cool, but it doesn't know your margin figures. It doesn't understand when you're breaking even and when you're not. It doesn't even operate with the concept of revenue. There, the revenue metric will be called conversion value. That's why, to give the system some guidelines about what you want from it, what return on investment you expect, it's worth specifying it. The only real criterion I can recommend is that, ideally, you need to calculate your break-even point. I'll leave a link here somewhere to my old video on how to calculate this break-even point. It's not difficult, you'll manage it. It's not some complicated math, just a very simple formula. The only thing I can recommend is that, usually, if your break-even point is above 800, 900, or 1000%, you should set it so that it's at least 200 or 300% below that break-even point. So, for example, if your break-even point is, say, 1200 or 1500%, you can subtract 200 or 300 and try setting it at that level. But if your break-even point is, for example, 800, 900, or 1000, you can start somewhere around 750 to 800. For Ukraine, the average starting profitability values are from 500 to 700. Write in the comments for which price ranges or for which products you have difficulties calculating this profitability. That's why this strategy is usually difficult for most stores, because it's hard to grasp how to calculate it correctly. Because if you set the profitability too high, you'll squeeze the traffic too much and miss out on conversions. If you don't push it enough, you'll just be wasting money. Even if you start with the market average, which is 500 to 750, you can set it at 600 and you'll never go wrong. For Ukraine, that's an average value, and you can raise or lower it later depending on your situation.